Well, hello, it's Mike Festiva here. In this video today, we're going to do a deep dive into if it's worth renting still or actually purchasing and owning your own mini skid steer or excavator. Now, if you're like me, you got projects that are endless. There's always firewood, driveway maintenance, terracing, maybe some utilities, and just lifting heavy stuff. You want to save your back? For me, these things made sense, but I got property. So we're gonna do a deep dive today to check out the costs of renting compared to owning, and maybe a diesel units or gas units. We're gonna compare the differences and what you can expect out of them. So stick around, enjoy the video. So now let's talk about numbers for these name brand rental units from a big box store. So a Toro Dingo, that's your name brand skid steer. We'll talk true numbers on purchasing numbers later in the video. We're just talking about rental numbers here. So for that machine, a Toro Dingo, it's $340 a day or $1,020 a week or $2,540 a month plus a $500 deposit. That's for your Toro Dingo. Now we'll jump over to the Kubota 1 ton. Keep in mind this machine does not offer a thumb. That is $360 a day or $1,078 a week or $2,694 a month plus a $500 deposit. And again, that machine does not have a hydraulic thumb, which is a big game changer with these machines. This is from sheets from a big box store, and that box store is about 45 minutes away from my house, so keep that in mind. That's an hour and a half round trip to go pick up the machine, bring it home, use it, and then return it. That eats into your day as well. Now let's talk about buying a homeowner unit, Chinese mini excavator or skid steer. We're going to start off with gas. So a gas skid steer is going to cost you between $4,500 and $7,000 to own outright for here on. It's yours. No renting, no returning, nothing like that. And a Chinese gas 1 ton mini excavator, which you can get piles and piles of attachments for these for super cheap. That gas mini excavator is going to cost between $5,000 and $8,000 for a good quality unit, and that comes with a hydraulic thumb, and some of them come with expanding tracks and all kinds of other useful things. Keep in mind those hydraulic thumbs are priceless when it comes to rock wall building, clearing brush, moving sticks, logs, things like that. It's going to be a game changer. Try to use your hands without your thumbs. It's as simple as that. Now we're going to talk about the cost of the Chinese equipment versus like gas to diesel. So a diesel units are going to set you back a bit more, but you get a lot more quality with them. So a diesel Chinese skid steer is going to set you back around 11 to maybe 16, 17,000 depending on the model and different options you get on it. Know what you're thinking, that's a lot more. It is, but you got to keep in mind a Dingo Toro is going to set you $30,000 to $40,000 back. And now we're going to jump over to the Chinese excavator. This is 1 ton plus, get into the 2 ton range. You get it a lot more when you get into that range. So diesel mini excavator Chinese, it's going to set you back around 8 to 9 low end, and you're going to get into the 14, 15 is pretty common. If you want to get in the 2 ton range, it's going to get you closer to 18. I know what you're saying. Yeah, that's a lot of money as well. But a Kubota without a thumb is going to cost you anywhere from $30,000 to $38,000 depending on the make and model you're going to get there. Yanmar's the same. Those are Japanese built. They're definitely got a bit more quality to them. Parts availability is going to be easier. But all in all, there's a serious difference between this cost of these machines and how a homeowner is going to use them. If you're going to do commercial all the time, yeah, get yourself a loan, get a Japanese machine or a US made machine. If you're going to do a homeowner use kind of work around your place, who can justify 30 to 40 grand for one piece of equipment? Keep in mind, like, you could go out and buy yourself a gas 1 ton excavator Chinese and a gas skid steer, use it around your property for years. You could go buy yourself a used hydraulic dump trailer, and it's going to save you a lot of money for, you can even buy attachments with that, and you're still going to be less than buying one Toro Dingo or a Kubota excavator. That's how I see it. So now, I get the argument all the time. People always say, Mike, you should be buying American. You should be sticking with that, supporting that. I get it. I would if I could possibly afford it, but my budget does not allow it. I got a family and kids to take care of, property to maintain. And honestly, the American companies and the Japanese companies have completely overlooked the DIY homeowner. They have absolutely just made commercial machines at commercial prices. I cannot justify taking a loan out for 30 plus grand for a machine I use on the weekends when I'm done with work, working around my mill on occasion. Like, I'm not doing commercial work with this machine. I'm never pushing it to that level, nor am I ever going to be able to handle a payment like that and justify it for DIY work on the weekend. So again, a lot of these machines are also built with global components. It's one of those things people, attack me on the comment section often about not supporting US companies, but they're writing on a Chinese computer or a Chinese made phone, and half the electronics in their place are Chinese built. Even their US built cars are built with global components. So that's my argument on that. If I could, or if these companies gave us a little bit of a DIY homeowner unit that's built in the US, that's at a DIY homeowner unit cost and price, I would consider it. But until then, there's not anything like that on the market from the US companies. Now we're going to talk about when to rent and when to consider maybe buying a machine. So for renting, I would say it's all for renting. If you live in town, you got a small city lot and you're moving some bark, doing some landscaping, moving gravel, working on some patios. Yeah, rent a machine for an 8-hour day, once, twice a year. That makes total sense. You can get them, rent them on a trailer, tow them back to your place. And for every rental, you're going to have, $500 deposit and maybe $400 and some dollars a day. Get your work done on the weekend, take it back. No worry about maintenance. If it breaks down, it's someone else's problem, not yours. All for that. Now we're going to talk about when you should probably consider owning a machine. So I'd say if you have a half an acre or more, there's always an ongoing projects and list of things to do, especially things like firewood. If you have a wood stove and you're constantly processing firewood, these things really help a lot. Mini excavator is great for loading large log rounds onto a log splitter or just holding the firewood up so you can cut the logs into smaller firewood chunks. Firewood, that's an ongoing, year-round kind of process if you burn with, wood. Another thing is, got a driveway, ongoing maintenance, driveway maintenance, hauling gravel, grading, things like that. Those are the things that you're going to use all the time. Snow plowing in the wintertime, they're great, especially the mini skid steers. Or say you got a bunch of utility work, you want to run some water lines to your garden or run some power to some outlets and things like that out in the garden. Definitely worthwhile to have that. Building rock walls, if you really plan on doing a lot of landscaping around your place. Or, I have a sawmill. It's great having one of these machines, a skid steer or a mini excavator for loading logs onto your mill and hauling all that stuff. The mini skid steer works great with the forks on it for hauling lumber around your place as well. There's just ongoing projects. I live on a hillside, so I'm constantly terracing the hillside to get level, flat spots, and both these machines are fantastic for that. So if you got over an acre or half an acre or more, I got 7.5, and there's always stuff after storm cleanup. If you get a lot of windstorms, trees are falling down. This makes cleaning up not only the branches a lot easier, just processing the trees across the driveway and whatever else you have to do. Consider owning one. Maintenance isn't really that bad as long as you don't abuse the machine, greasing them, keeping them oiled up, changing engine oil on occasion. The people that don't think are right for these Chinese machines or any heavy equipment in that matter are the people that always take their cars or trucks to a shop or motorcycles to a shop and have some mechanic work on them. I think you got to be a DIYer in the sense where you got to know how to work on your equipment a little bit. Tightening a bolt here and there, greasing machines. Don't be scared to change the oil. Those are the kind of people that fit best with this DIY equipment, but those are the kind of people that are probably going to do those projects like cutting their own lumber on a sawmill, doing their own patios, working around their property, building rock walls. DIYers like us, we can benefit by machines that are affordable, saving our back. And you wouldn't believe the amount of time you work you can get out of a gallon of diesel or a gallon of gas with these machines. It's pretty incredible. So final thought on this whole topic, renting or owning. The way I look at it, investment equals health. My back's messed up from a car accident when I was younger. I want to save my back. I want to save my joints. I don't want to spend 6 hours on the weekend after a whole entire work week shoveling gravel, hauling it with the wheelbarrow. I've done that throughout my 20s and into my 30s. I don't want to do that anymore. I definitely like hiking. I like camping. I want to keep my joints and my back good shape for those kinds of things. Not lifting rocks. that require 2 people per rock. I don't want to do that anymore. So for me and owning property, investing in some equipment in the long term, get one, save up for the next year or two, buy the other piece of equipment, that makes sense to me. If you're not sure which machine you want to get, I have a lot of videos covering these, what I suggest the skid steer is best for, mini excavator is best for. But honestly, owning a skid steer and an excavator combo is about the best you can do. But you don't have to happen right off the bat. You can buy one, save up for a few years and get the other one. So I'll put a link below to a bunch of videos covering these things. But again, for me, it makes the most sense to own this equipment because there's those little jobs that are really hard to even capture in the video where all of a sudden I come home, I have to lift an engine block out of the back of my truck. It's 300 pounds. Well, I can use a skid steer or mini excavator to do that. I got another little project. I want to do something for 10 or 15 minutes. I can start up the machine, run that, do that, put it away, and I'm not going to rent something for a 15, 20-minute job. It just doesn't make sense. So that's where these things shine. And you know, you don't really tack on that much hours, or at least I don't, after a work week. You get done with work, you want to pick some projects on the weekends. I put about 50 hours on the mini excavator a year and probably about 30 on a skid steer a year, maybe 40. Some people I've had say, well, you know what, I can do that in less than a work week. Well, these aren't commercial machines, and who's working 8 to 10 hours a day at their house every day during the week? We got jobs, we got other things to do. So that's how it works for me. Yeah, you may be able to get 200-300 hours in a year. You may be retired, and that's when you're putting those on your machine. But this is realistic for me, and I get all the projects I want to get done. So in the comment section, let me know your thoughts on that. If you're still convinced on renting is the way to go, or owning this, or your thoughts buying American versus Chinese for commercial or DIY. Like I say, these are great DIY units, semi-commercial, especially when you step up into the diesel. But you know what? You can get a lot done even with the gas unit. My old gas unit I sold to my buddy, he's got about 200 plus hours on it, and he's done insane amounts of stuff. He is also retired, so he's always picking around on that. So some people claim that these are toys. I don't think so. They might look like it. They're a hell of a lot of fun to operate it, but you can get a lot of work done with these machines. So till next time, hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. Goodbye.